Hi guys, welcome back to Suero TV. I'm Ratak Pata, your usual host. So today I have a very special guest on the show. Today I have Bupelo Moalosi. She's actually the founding director of Lima Consulting, a financial advisory business that actually offers training and financial planning, as well as research on the finance aspect. Bupelo is actually quite a specialist as well on the pension fund business as well as advisory. So we're going to be talking about pension today, something that I know a lot of us have been asking me a lot of questions about, a lot of pension, retirement. Let's talk. So I brought her in because she's actually a specialist. Welcome to the show, Bupelo.
Oh, thank you so much, Rob, thanks for the warm welcome and introduction.
You're welcome. So Bupelo, I would like us to just get into it right away. Why is retirement planning and preparation important?
Right. Yeah. So retirement planning is it's something that we don't usually think about as people because it's something that is still far away. You know, retirement when you are in your 30s, for instance, you're not really thinking about retirement. However, you find that, or at least I've encountered in my work, that by the time someone starts thinking about retirement when they're in their 50s, by that time it's almost a bit too late to make arrangements to prepare for a better retirement. So retirement planning and preparation is important in that sense because you need to start thinking about it and making plans and ensuring that you have enough savings to maintain your retirement once you get to that retirement age.
No, absolutely.
And just so that you can avoid the situation where you're now having to rely on the kindness of your children in retirement, which is something that we see quite a lot. We know that we have our parents who or we have people who end up relying on their children to support them.
No, absolutely. This is the black text, basically.
It's black text, basically. So retirement planning is important to help us get rid of black text.
No, absolutely. I mean, we have actually people who retire and start building using the retirement package. What do you think about that?
My personal opinion is that if you could not afford to build while you are earning an income, it's really not a great idea to do so in retirement. For the simple reason that in retirement, you don't have much. You don't have an income really coming in. You're not generating an income. So you are working off of very limited funds. And if you're going to take the majority or even all of your funds to build, it's really not a smart idea because you're going to find that you're leaving yourself with not much, very little, or even nothing to sustain you on a month-to-month because you still have to live. So you need something that can see you through.
No, absolutely.
Every month.
No, you're right about that. So tell me about when you actually now find yourself, you're 43 years old, and you don't have any pension. Is it too late?
Well, you know how
to get a retirement plan of some sort.
You know how we always say it's never too late, and those instances do happen. You do come across such instances, but luckily it doesn't happen very often because for a lot of people who are in formal employment, their employer will have some kind of retirement fund for them. So they will have some kind of savings in place for them. But even so, whether you have that pension fund or you don't have anything at all, if you are in your 40s, as you say, it's not too late to start. You can at least start at that time when you can start or when it dawns on you to start so that you will have something. It's better to have a little something than to have nothing at all.
Absolutely. So it's rather start wherever you are, just do it. But if you're at 65, is it too late?
It depends. Not necessarily. It depends.
For you to start some sort of.
If you're at 65, then have you retired? Maybe your employer can still keep you. 65 for most pension funds, you will be past the normal retirement age. So chances are you would have to retire from your pension fund. And if you retire from a pension fund, maybe if it's an option with your employer, depending on how the arrangement with your employer is, you can be employed on a contract basis.
Okay.
So if you're at 65 and that option is available to you, you can
continue funding the pension. Okay.
And also bear in mind, if you take the option to continue working past your normal retirement age, you are actually reducing the number of years in which you have to live off of retirement.
So, Bupelo, I don't think most people actually know that your pension is actually way less than your normal salary while you're still working, even less than a quarter of it. And I would like you to actually answer that. And we're gonna she's gonna answer it after the break. See you now. Welcome back, guys. Bupelo, welcome back to this lovely conversation. I would like us now to touch on retirement anxiety. It is a normal one. What is retirement anxiety?
Right. So retirement anxiety is basically that fear that we observe people getting when they are like a year or two, or even when they reach retirement age, right? So it happens when one gets the realization, that, okay, I am retiring. It's time to retire. I am retiring. And they now start looking at, okay, how much do I have saved? So for most people, they're doing this for the first time. They've never looked to see what's in their statement. So they're doing this for the first time. And then that's when it now dawns on them for the first time that, so I've been earning, say, for instance, 10,000 pula every month. So my pension income is not going to be 10,000 pula. It's only 2,000 pula or 3,000 pula. How am I going to make it work? And obviously you start getting anxiety because you are now, your head is spinning. You are asking, can I afford to retire? Oh, what about my medical expenses? Because the older I get, the more I start getting sick. Oh, but I still have debt. What am I going to do about my loan? Are they going to take my house?
So this is definitely involves financial planning. These are one of the things that we actually don't do as individuals. Proper financial planning. The minute you start working, start doing proper financial planning. And I always say it, the minute you start working, make sure you get into retirement plan immediately, some sort of pension plan, whether your company offers it or not, just get into it, so that you don't panic and have retirement anxiety and have the investments, start making investments. So this is what you're saying, start doing these things early so that we avoid the retirement and anxiety. And if you are almost retiring now, don't panic. What do you advise for the person who is almost retiring now, that really, like, listening to this conversation, they didn't make the necessary investments, but they do have the pension, but they didn't make the necessary investments to diversify the income?
Yes. So if you're retiring now and you haven't made the necessary arrangements, or you didn't do some form of retirement planning prior to that, it's always a challenge. And sometimes we do come in at that stage and it's very painful because there's not much we can do. Yes, we can help. You can help you navigate the situation that one is in, but we get instances where someone still has a loan, for example. So the best thing to do is just to take it on a case-by-case basis. You can rent out your home, for example. Say maybe you still have a home loan that you're paying. So those are some of the solutions that just sometimes we
slim down.
Slim it down. But the advice that I can give those who still have some time off to go is, please be mindful that your retirement is your responsibility. I think a lot of people misunderstand that your retirement is your responsibility. It's not your employer's responsibility. Your employer is really just
contributing,
helping you.
If they are, because there are some companies that are
And
not.
they are not obliged to.
Yeah.
They really aren't. So I think that's a misconception that we have generally.
Yeah.
So let's start taking ownership of it.
All right. So let's talk about BPOPF. Yeah. There was a press release last year during the financial year 2020-2021 about the interest, they were declaring the final interest rates, BOPF. What does that mean? And I got a lot of questions about this from my followers. What does this mean? Is it fair? Does it make sense? What can you just explain this for the viewer? Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So each pension fund has an option. There's two ways that they can declare or pay out. Let me use the word pay out. But there's two ways that a pension fund can pay out the investment returns from the investment companies, right? So some pension funds pay it out directly as is. So if say, for example, last year the returns were 10%, the member will get 10%, right? And then some pension funds like BPOPF, what they do is they smooth out the returns, right? So then they will hire an actuary, and then if the returns last year were, say, for example, 10%, instead of paying out 10%, they will say, okay, let's pay out to the member 5%, and then we keep the other 5%. Why do they do that? They are not cheating the member.
Are they reinvesting?
What they're doing is they are reserving that 5% so that if, say, for example, the following year, the return is, say, maybe minus 3%, they use that 5% that they put, and now it will be 5% minus 3%, 2%. So the member will get 2% this year instead of getting minus 3%.
Yeah. So it basically helps when, in case the inflation rates or interest rates it fluctuate, so it actually just buffers that. So what if the next year the interest rate is actually higher? So we add to the 5.
Yes. So it doesn't matter. Even if the following year the return is not negative and it's still positive, that's fine. They can decide to maybe add, let's say it's 3% and not minus 3%.
Yes, that's what I mean.
They can say, okay, let's add another 1% and make it 4%, for example, pay out the members 4%. So now instead of 5% in the reserves, they have 4% in the reserves. They don't have to pay it all out, whatever was left from the previous year.
This is me. I'm like, what happened to the 1% now?
They don't have to pay out in the following year. They can just use it over a number of years.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So that's basically what that press release was about. And because they have different levels of members, I think they have 3 on there. So they split them up into those 3 groups. Okay. Because each member, okay, let me just talk about the first
members,
two. The first 2. So they have active members, active and deferred members. Those are the members who are still employed, are still sort of on the young side, and they are contributing into the fund.
What are those called?
The active members.
Active members.
Right? Active members. So those active members, because if you are like, say, for example, 35 years, you still have a long way to go. The BPOPF can decide to invest in more risky assets. So that's why you see that their returns are higher. And then the second category was the pre-retirement switch. Now, those are for those who are like 3 years before, 2 years before retirement. You are nearing retirement, so you don't have time to be taking risks. So what you then say to them is, put my funds in safer investments. So the safer investments will not give you high returns, but they will be safe. You know, whatever happens, COVID happens, financial crisis happen, it doesn't matter. You just don't want to be getting negatives because you don't want to retire in a year when the fund returns negatives.
We're gonna, thank you, Bupelo. We're gonna go for a break. We'll be right back. Yes, Bupelo, let's continue on it. You're earning less than a quarter of your salary.
In retirement.
In retirement.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for this question. That actually gets me excited because a lot of people never really think about this one. And it's quite true that when you retire, your pension income is a very small fraction of what you were earning as your income.
Yeah.
Let's think about it this way. While you are working and you are part of a pension fund where your employer is contributing and you are also contributing towards a pension fund.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. Your employer will be contributing somewhere between 10% to 20% of your monthly income. So, I'm not very good with quick numbers.
Yes, from the top of our heads. No, we don't do that.
Yes.
No.
So that's 20. Let's say your employer is contributing 20%,
Yeah.
right? And then you, as the employee, on average, you are contributing roughly 5%.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say maybe you have an employer who's contributing 15% and you're contributing 5%.
Yeah.
That means that you are putting aside 20% of what you are earning every month towards your retirement.
Which is what you earn.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, fine. Granted, that money is invested and it's earning some kind of return in your investments, but really, how much returns would you really need to earn to be able to get 50%?
Yeah.
But then also get this. Let's say on average, you start working at 25 years and you work, the average normal retirement age is 55 years. So you start working at 25, you retire at 55. That means you worked for 30 years, right? You've been saving 20% of your monthly income for 30 years.
Yeah.
But also get this, you retire at 55 and let's say you live, your life expectancy, you live to about 85 years.
Yeah.
That's also 30 years.
Yeah. For it to live on that.
Yes. So essentially,
Yeah.
on average, whatever you are saving every month is what you will be getting every month when you retire, because you are saving for as long as you will need the money.
Yeah.
You are saving for 30 years, you will need the money for 30 years. So that is why your retirement income or your pension income tends to be a very small fraction,
Yeah.
because for starters, you are not putting
Enough.
enough aside.
So what do you advise we do? Definitely other sources of income. This is why the different streams
Yes.
of income are
Is
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So what do I advise you do? You need to be aware. Just like with any situation in life, it always starts with awareness.
Yeah.
Let's become aware of our retirement position. Where do you stand?
Yeah.
You'll find that your pension fund has an administrator, and that administrator, the fund administrator, every year, once a year, they will give you a benefit statement. Have a look at that. It gives you some kind of information.
Yeah.
But at Lima Consulting, we also do, because we do retirement planning, we also sit down and actually do a retirement analysis to look at, okay, this is your savings rate, right? So, and we look at other factors, investment returns, the average investment returns, inflation, and things like that.
Yeah.
And we are able to give a reasonable prediction of how much you will have when you retire.
Yeah.
Looking at your rate of saving at the moment, right? And then so we will determine how much you will have at retirement. And then we can also look at, okay, the kind of retirement lifestyle you want to have, your expenses, and
your current expenses even.
Yes, and just take other things into consideration as well, how your expenses will change in retirement, and then we are able to calculate how much you will need. And then we can compare how much you will have and how much you will need. And then we determine, is there a retirement capital shortfall, or do you have a surplus?
Yes.
Surprise, surprise. We really get a
surplus, I'm sure. So the best thing, can you actually have different retirement pension plans?
Yes.
You can, right?
Yes.
So
Yes,
sometimes maybe that is the best thing.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So you did ask, what can you do?
What can you do? Yeah, the different streams of income, basically, so that you can supplement.
So there's quite a number of things that you can do. I mean, granted, you're working off of just your one income, and you're having to split it between your current living expenses. And the reality is that a lot of us are stretched as it is, but you also have to be mindful and be intentional about putting some aside for your retirement, right? My advice is, or my opinion, let me not say advice, because I'm not, today I'm not sitting giving advice, I'm just passing information. But my take on it is, relying on just your employer's pension fund is not sufficient.
Yeah, absolutely.
That one, we just need to be clear. It is not sufficient at all. So look at having other pension incomes, pension funds, pension fund investments. There are voluntary retirement funds out there. If you go to like the likes of your Alexander Forbes, Lynette, maybe even find Dushia now. Or you can even look at other investment options. It doesn't have to be a pension fund, just other investments. You can do that as well. And look at other, you mentioned other sources of income. What other investments could you make that will give you continue to be a source of income even in your retirement?
So basically compound interest investments, just like you can
investments, or you can look into property or things like that. And something that I always when we are looking at strategies for how you can make your retirement more comfortable. If you say you are living in your house in Gaborone because you're working, maybe when you retire, an option could be moving to a smaller town or a village.
Just basically reduce your...
Yes, if that's what you want, if you are so inclined to live a quieter life, if you don't want to be living in the city, or you can even move to a smaller place because
it just makes sense.
Someone said
the kids are not there anymore. I mean,
someone said to me when they were retiring, she said she made a decision to move from Gaborone to her home village, and I asked her, why are you doing that? And she said, because if I stay here, I'm sitting on a gold mine. How can I sit in my house when I can just rent it out?
Absolutely.
And supplement my pension
absolutely.
income.
No, we need to be wrapping it up now, Bupelo, but I would like us to touch on, people who withdraw before they retire from that pension fund. So let's keep it short on that one, because we need to wrap up the interview. But but please explain that, because I know it's very common. You get a little frustrated financially. You just want to just
withdraw.
Yes.
I know you said keep it short. There's just so much I could say.
We need a part 2 of this, I think.
Yes, we need to have a part 2. But first thing, the most important thing, let me just mention, because a lot of these misconception about this thing. I want your audience to understand that there is a limit to how much you can take in cash from your pension. People don't know that. And it's not your employer who is refusing with your money. It is law. It is as stipulated in the Income Tax Act. So there's not much. Your employer cannot legally give you all your money.
And they get so frustrated.
and people get frustrated and they think it's the employer who's eating their money, but it's not the case. So what was the question?
Basically, we're trying to discourage the people from withdrawing
the
money,
impact
of withdrawal of your pension before it actually matures.
So if you keep dipping, just think of it this way: you keep putting in 20% of your monthly income, and then when you resign from your job, you take 25%, because you are allowed to take 25%. When you retire, you take 1/3. You are allowed to take maximum 1/3 in cash. If you do that, say maybe at retirement, your lump sum is 1.5 million. If you take 1/3, it means you are taking 500,000 pula in cash, and you are leaving yourself with only 1 million to sustain you through your pension. So obviously that is going to reduce your monthly pension income.
That too, and it's already little.
It's already little as it is.
No, but we really need a second round of this one. Time has actually, but thank you so much
thank you so much
for this. This was very informative. You seem very passionate about your business. Would you want to share your contact details in case your anybody that is interested in you helping them, so that they can get in touch with you?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So you can contact us on 311-4728 or 72-303-444. 72-303-444.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Do you have any last words for the audience?
Yes. So I just want to say that, as I mentioned earlier, the important thing is to be aware. Right, get yourself familiar.
Get the statements.
Get your statement. Start thinking about retirement, even if you're 20 years old, because you know that day will come. So just start thinking about it and making arrangements towards giving yourself a better retirement.
Yeah, let's end the black tax generation.
Let's end. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Bye for now.